traveling at highway speeds and an accident occurs, very often somebody gets hurt. And often they hurt their back or spine, which results in herniated disc and requires surgery. Hello, I'm Eli Castronova. I'm an attorney in Southern California, and I represent people who are injured in car accidents on the highway who suffer spinal injuries, including herniated discs. When an accident happens at freeway or highway speeds, and let's face it, nowadays the surface of most roadways is a highway because people drive much faster than they used to, and they drive much faster than they should. And when accidents occur on highways, freeways, or residential roads where people are driving fast, the potential for back and neck injuries is much greater because the forces that the occupants of a vehicle that are hit or a motorcycle that they're riding is much greater. I want to talk to you about a couple of cases that I represented clients on just recently that luckily settled without going to trial. But I've represented over 100, maybe over 200 clients in the last few years that suffered herniated discs in these kinds of highway or freeway accidents. One accident involved a gentleman who was driving near downtown. He was driving on Figueroa. And he was driving his truck. And a woman who had rented a truck, an SUV, did not know the downtown area because she was up in Northern California. That's where her residence was. And she didn't realize that a street that previously was 50 miles per hour reduced down to 35 miles per hour because it was in the heart of the city. And she was driving 50 miles an hour, maybe 55 miles an hour. So highway speed and almost freeway speed. And she was lost and she was looking for an address. And at the last minute, she noticed my client's truck that was driving down the road and smashed into him. Totaled her car, totaled his F-150 truck, so you can see what the speed she was going. And she knocked his truck onto the sidewalk. Well, he went to the hospital right away because he already had low back pain that he'd never had before. And at the hospital, they took x-rays, they took CAT scans. It didn't show anything. So he came to us because he had unrelenting back pain and he wasn't able to work. He's a hardworking guy. He was the breadwinner of the family. He wasn't able to play with his children. And he wanted to find out what was going on with his back because the hospital told him, it's okay, just take a couple pain pills and you'll be all right. Well, he wasn't all right. When he came to my office, immediately we sent him to a pain management doctor. The pain management doctor set him up for some injections in his back, but those didn't help. So the next thing we did was send him to a neurosurgeon to see what was happening with his back. Well, MRIs were taken, and sure enough, he had a herniated disc in his low back, and the covering of the disc, which we call the annulus, that encloses the disc material, had broken open and was impinging on one of his nerves. So the neurosurgeon was a very fine doctor. He said, you know what? More injections in his back are not going to work, but I can perform surgery and get him back on his feet. So sure enough, this doctor performed surgery. The client didn't have to pay anything up front, and he went through therapy afterwards. And within 3 months, he was as good as new. The trick is knowing good doctors, knowing doctors that are reputable, doctors that are educated in fine schools, and doctors that we've dealt with in the past that we know they can help our clients, because it's not just the getting of a surgery which will make the case bigger, it's making the client better. I have another case in which a client was riding on a motorcycle in the carpool lane, and the traffic had slowed down in the regular lanes. So this driver in a Tesla decided to illegally cross these double yellow lines and enter the carpool lane. And he was driving at probably 50 miles an hour, even though the traffic had slowed down. And he smashed right into my client's motorcycle. My client went over the hood, and my client had to go to the hospital. And again, was given some medicine, a few CAT scans were taken, and he was told he was okay. Well, the thing about x-rays and CAT scans or CT scans is they're good for determining whether you've broken a bone or you have a skull fracture or something of that nature. They do nothing to determine whether a disc in your back has been broken, because discs are soft tissue. They're soft cartilage and tissue, and x-rays and CT scans cannot see that kind of injury. So you need an MRI. Well, the client came to my office, and again, this is a client that had been working, taking care of his family. He was kind of a macho guy. He loved to go fishing and surfing and things of this nature, but he couldn't do those things. He didn't know what he was going to do because he couldn't work, couldn't run his business. So we sent him to a doctor who did a procedure on him called a rhizotomy, in which they kind of burned the nerve near the disc, and that nerve kind of retracts, and it causes some relief from pain. And it works in a lot of cases because it's a minimally invasive procedure. It can be repeated yearly if necessary. And after 3 or 4 years, it usually is a situation where the nerve doesn't regenerate and the pain doesn't come back. And again, these are nerves that if you burn them or cauterize them, they're only a nerve that conducts sensation. It's not a functional nerve, so you're not going to be disabled if you get these kinds of procedures. But in this case, it didn't work. And in all cases, it does not work. And the pain came back within 6 months, and he had it one more time, and it didn't work. So we sent him to a very fine neurosurgeon in the Los Angeles area. This surgeon is so good that I have sent 5 clients to him, and every one of them improved. And that's saying something, because in spinal surgery, 50% or less note market improvement. That's the odds here. So when you get a herniated disc or other kind of spinal surgery, it's not a good outcome very often. Well, he went to this doctor, he had surgery, and within 6 months, he was out fishing again, actively directing his practice, his construction company, and within a year he was out surfing again. And we were able to settle that case for well over 6 figures, 7 figures, and it helped his family, it helped him. They were able to recently purchase a home here in Southern California, and he's very happy. So the thing is, there are very, very significant injuries that are caused at high speeds. Everybody should drive at a safe speed, but very often they don't. And when clients are in these kinds of accidents and they have severe neck pain or back pain, very often it's a herniated disc. When clients come to my office, we know what to do. We've dealt with these kinds of accidents for years and years. We've represented clients successfully for years, and we know the doctors who can get them back on the feet and help them become whole again.
Hi there. I am an AI avatar reading a real Google review by Jordy L. Simply the best lawyer and got me a very good settlement. I'd recommend him to anyone. I know, thank you. Thanks for your review, Jordy L.
Hi there. I am an avatar reading a real Google review by Scott Dorrell. I can't say enough good things about Eli. Having worked for numerous attorneys, he is my favorite. He has handled numerous cases for my family, and I from personal injury to medical malpractice. He has exceeded our expectations every time. We just broke the record recently on a hit and run I was involved in, settling the case in 3.5 weeks for more than I expected. Thanks, Elia. The Dorrell family. Thanks for your review, Scott Dorrell. It's appreciated.
Hi there. I am an AI avatar reading a real Google review by Lionel Coleman. Mr. Castronova was nothing less than a blessing. Going to court in pain is stressful beyond belief. But not only did he ensure I was comfortable, he did everything in his power to fight for my case. Best attorney around. Hands down. Thanks for your review, Lionel Coleman. It's appreciated.
Hi there. I am an AI avatar reading a real Google review by Luis Enrique Lopez. It went very well with the lawyer. I highly recommend him 100%. All the staff are very friendly and they help you with any questions. Thanks for your review, Luis Enrique Lopez. It's appreciated.